You know what's terrifying? It's not the dark corners of the world. It's the brightness that is a lie. You know, the things you think you know, but you really don't. The person who makes your blood run cold isn't always the one hiding in the shadows. No, the most dangerous ones don't need to hide. They move in plain sight, performing, smiling and blending in. They've learned how to wear a mask so convincingly, they can get close enough to touch you, and you wouldn't even blink. Take Wayne Gacy, for example. When you hear his name, you might think of the clown, but don't let that image fool you. The real horror isn't the painted smile. The horror is that John's true face was something much worse, something no mask could ever cover. John wasn't just a man. He was an act. He built his reputation as Pogo the Clown, a jovial character who entertained kids at birthday parties. He was a man you could trust, a man who fit perfectly into the fabric of his neighborhood, a community guy. He ran a successful construction business. He volunteered at charity events. He was an upstanding citizen with a home in Norwood Park, a quiet area in Chicago where families were just trying to make a life. And that's the part that always sends a shiver down my spine, because the worst killers, they don't lurk in the dark. They blend into the world like anyone else. They walk down the same streets, go to the same stores and live next door. They know how to be seen, but never noticed. And that's how John Gacy's true nature remained hidden for so long. It started with an invitation. John was a man who prided himself on his charm. He knew how to make a young, lost boy feel special, like he was worth something. The boys he picked, they weren't from stable homes. They didn't have families who would ask questions if they disappeared. They were the ones walking the streets, looking for work, searching for a way out. John offered them the escape they were desperate for. A ride, a job, a meal. It seemed harmless at first. And for a moment, maybe it even felt like a lifeline. But that's the thing about predators. They know how to make you comfortable. John didn't need a weapon to ensnare them. He just needed to talk. Once they were inside his home, the mask came off. The clown became a monster. He'd tie them up. At first, they thought it was just part of the game. Maybe it was some weird trick. But when the ropes tightened and they realized the door had been locked, the panic would settle in. The air would grow heavy, thick with the scent of his lies. John had a method he liked to control. He'd either strangle or suffocate them. It was never the act of killing that haunted me. It was the way he kept them. What do you think it's like to be trapped inside the walls of a house? To be buried beneath the floorboards of a home you thought was safe? A house that becomes your grave, while the world outside keeps on spinning. That's what John's victims became. Not just bodies, but hidden pieces of a twisted puzzle. And the worst part, they were buried under his house, under his very feet. The moment Gacy was caught, it didn't just shock the world, it broke it. Because when they searched his home, when they pried apart those floorboards, they didn't just find bodies. They found 29 boys, ripped from their lives, hidden beneath the surface of suburbia, forgotten. Can you imagine what it must have been like for the officers who first stepped into his house? What goes through your mind when you realize you're standing on top of a grave? But that's how it works. You never know what's beneath your feet. And sometimes it takes a single act of courage, a single question, to peel back the layers of a person's life and uncover the monster they've buried. But here's the scariest have no idea who they really are, what they've hidden. We've all heard the statistics. 1 in 25 people are believed to be psychopaths. So think about it. Every day you cross paths with people. What if just one of them is hiding something darker? You think you know the people around you. You don't. Not really. And sometimes the person standing next to you might be carrying a secret darker than anything you can imagine. So tonight, as you close your eyes, think about it. Think about those faces you pass by every day. The ones you never think twice about. How many of them are wearing masks? How many of them have hidden the truth so deep that even they can't remember who they are anymore? Sleep tight. And remember, the worst monsters don't wait for the dark.